slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up.
The location.
Okay.
So this is going in down on Pleasure Island, right off the coast of Texas.
Uh-huh.
And, the name Pleasure Island, it sounds like, beaches and sunshine. And,
Really relaxing.
yeah, and, margaritas maybe.
Uh-huh.
But the reality is kind of the opposite of that.
Yeah, so
It turns out Pleasure Island has this massive mosquito problem.
Oh, wow, I had no idea.
Yeah. And, I mean, we're not just talking about, a few bites here and there.
Right.
We're talking swarms of mosquitoes, like so bad that it's a serious public health risk.
Wow.
And that's a big part of why the EPA is interested in this project.
Okay, that makes sense.
Because, they're always looking for ways to reduce chemical pesticide use.
Right, of course, trying to find alternatives.
Exactly. And so this project is kind of a two birds, one stone situation.
I'm intrigued. How does that work?
Well, so they're building this wind farm, obviously, but they're also doing a lot of construction on the island itself.
Okay.
To, reshape the landscape.
Oh, interesting.
To make it less hospitable for mosquitoes.
Wow. So they're literally trying to change the environment to control the mosquito population.
Exactly. And that's not even the craziest part.
Oh, there's more. Okay, I'm all ears.
Yeah. So this all ties into a much bigger issue in the region.
Okay.
Have you ever heard of Cancer Alley?
Yeah, that name rings a bell. Isn't that a region with high cancer rates?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's this stretch along the Mississippi River, and it includes Port Arthur, which is right near Pleasure Island.
Right.
And it got that nickname Cancer Alley because it has some of the highest cancer rates in the country.
That's awful. And what's causing that? Is it environmental factors?
It is,
Yeah.
yeah. So it's largely attributed to pollution from all the industrial facilities in the area.
Oh, right. All those refineries and chemical plants?
Yeah, so they release all these harmful chemicals into the air and water.
So, what kind of chemicals are we talking about?
Well, one of the big ones is benzene.
Benzene. Oh, wow. That's a nasty one.
Yeah, it's a known carcinogen, and it's released during fossil fuel combustion.
Right.
So when they're burning coal and oil and gas to generate electricity, all that benzene is going into the atmosphere.
And the people living there are breathing it in.
Yeah, and it's a really tragic situation because these communities are disproportionately low income and minority communities.
Right. Of course, environmental justice issues again.
Exactly, and so that's where the Diligence Wind Farm comes in.
Okay, so how does this wind farm help?
Well, by switching to wind energy, they're cutting out the need to burn those fossil fuels.
Right, so less benzene in the air.
Exactly. And it's not just benzene. There's a whole cocktail of other pollutants that come from burning fossil fuels.
Right, particulates and nitrogen oxides and all that.
Yeah, so this wind farm has the potential to make a real difference in terms of air quality and public health in the area.
That's incredible. It's like a double win. They're tackling the mosquito problem and improving air quality at the same time.
Exactly. And that's what I think is so fascinating about this project.
Yeah, it's a really holistic approach to solving some really complex issues.
And it kind of makes you wonder, why aren't we doing more of this kind of thing?
Right. I mean, it seems like such a no-brainer to invest in projects that have multiple benefits like this.
Yeah, and we were talking about the mosquito control aspect earlier.
Right, with the reshaping of the island.
Yeah, and it makes me wonder, are there any other ways they could be addressing that issue?
Oh, yeah, that's a good point. Have they considered any alternative methods of mosquito control?
Yeah, what about something like biocontrol?
Right. Using natural predators or something.
Exactly, because, reshaping the island like that is a pretty drastic measure.
Yeah, and it could have unintended consequences for the ecosystem.
Right, and the developers of the project do say that they're using other mosquito control measures as well.
Okay.
Like they're doing targeted spraying and using mosquito traps.
Okay, so it's not just the landscaping. It's a multi-pronged approach.
Yeah, but, it still raises questions about what the long-term ecological impacts of this project might be.
Right, and it makes you think about, what other innovative solutions might be out there.
Yeah, what if we could find a way to control mosquitoes without having to resort to either chemical pesticides or massive landscape alterations?
Right, what if there's some completely different approach that we haven't even thought of yet?
Yeah, and that's what I think is so exciting about this whole field of sustainable development.
Right, there's so much potential for innovation and creativity.
And you know what I really hope is that this Diligence Wind Farm project can serve as a model for other communities.
Yeah, like a blueprint for how to tackle multiple challenges at once.
Exactly, because, we're all facing similar issues, whether it's climate change or pollution or public health crises.
Right, and we need to be thinking outside the box and coming up with solutions that are both effective and sustainable.
And, this project shows that it's possible to do both.
It does, and it gives me hope that we can actually create a better future for ourselves and for future generations.
Yeah, absolutely. So what are your final thoughts on this project? What stood out to you the most?
I think for me, it's the potential impact on public health in Cancer Alley.
Okay.
Like, to think that this wind farm could actually help to reduce cancer rates in that region is just incredible.
Yeah, I mean, it's a reminder that these environmental issues are not just abstract problems.
Right. They have real human consequences.
Yeah. And it also highlights the importance of environmental justice.
Absolutely. We need to make sure that everyone has access to clean air and water, regardless of their income or race or zip code.
Yeah, well said. Well, I think this has been a really fascinating deep dive into the Diligence Wind Farm project.
Yeah, I learned a lot. I had no idea about the mosquito connection or the link to Cancer Alley.
Yeah, me neither.
Yeah.
It's a really complex and multifaceted issue.
And it makes you think about all the other interconnected challenges that we're facing in the world today.
It does, and it leaves me feeling hopeful that we can find creative and sustainable solutions if we work together.
Yeah, I agree. There's a lot of work to be done, but I think we're moving in the right direction.
Well, on that note, we'll leave you to ponder all of this, and hopefully we'll see you back for our next deep dive.
See you then.
Bye.